Hello, hope you're doing well, and welcome to my Smite 2 Kali guide. Kali, the fearsome goddess of destruction, has carved her path into the battleground with relentless fury and divine purpose. Drenched in bloodshed and adorned in weapons of war, she is a force of unstoppable violence. And yet, within her chaos lies a sacred balance, whether she's diving into the fray with her blade storm or walking the line between life and death through sheer willpower. Kali is an unrelenting nightmare for anyone marked by her wrath. Kali is a melee hybrid assassin who thrives on constant damage, pressure, and sustain with her powerful dueling capabilities, built-in lifesteal, and ability to mark and execute high-priority targets. She excels at isolating and shredding enemies in extended engagements. Her passive makes her nearly impossible to be killed during key moments, and when played correctly, she becomes a scaling monster that can dominate the late game. This guide will walk you through everything you need to know to unleash Kali's divine destruction on your enemies. Do not forget to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss future Smite 2 guides, as I'll be covering all of the characters in Smite 2. Also check out my Discord server if you have any questions or want to join a friendly, toxic-free Smite community. Now let's dive into Kali's abilities. Kali's passive is Marked for Death, a crucial mechanic that defines her execution style play. At the start of the match, you can choose an enemy god to mark as your target. When you kill this marked target, you instantly restore a massive portion of your health. Even assists will return a portion of your health back, and the bonus gold you receive ensures Kali snowballs hard when she's ahead. On top of that, Kali gains bonus physical penetration against her marked enemy, giving her an edge on one-on-one duels. You can change the marked target in the fountain, and when a marked target dies, the nearest enemy god is marked automatically. Additionally, her basic attacks and most abilities apply Rupture, a unique effect that synergizes with her damage and healing. Her first ability, Nimble Strike, is her gap closer and a powerful sustain tool. Kali leaps to a target location, damaging all enemies in the area when she lands. If she hits an enemy god, she heals based on the missing health, making this ability not just an engage tool, but also a powerful heal in the middle of a fight. This also applies stacks of Rupture, which further increase her synergy with the rest of her kit. Her second ability, Lash, sends out 3 spinning blades, each dealing damage and applying a bleed over time. Each blade applies a stack of Rupture, which becomes critical later when paired with her third ability. Lash is ideal for poking from range, applying pressure to targets, and stacking Rupture quickly. Despite being a skill shot, it's fairly easy to hit in close quarters and should be weaved in often to keep damage consistent. Her third ability, Incense, is a centerpiece of her sustain and a major combo finisher. When activated, Kali emits a pulse of incense that stuns nearby enemies and siphons their life. It deals damage and heals for every enemy god hit, and the more Rupture stacks they have on them, the stronger the heal and damage become. This ability will consume all Rupture stacks, so it's best used after applying them with either Lash, Nimble Strike, or auto attacks. This is what allows Kali to stay in fights far longer than she should, and when timed correctly, it can completely turn the tide of a battle. And finally, Kali's ultimate destruction makes Kali nearly impossible to kill. When activated, Kali becomes immune to death, displacement, slows, and roots, and begins dealing rapid damage in an area around her. She continuously applies Ruptures as this ability ticks, and if her health is low when this effect ends, she's restored to a flat threshold instead of dying. This ultimate is core to her identity. It's a panic button, an initiation tool, a survival mechanic all in one. Proper use of destruction can let Kali charge into the middle of 5 enemies and walk out with a pentakill and full health. Now that you understand Kali's abilities, let's talk about how to use them in powerful combos that maximize her damage and survivability. Kali's kit is centered around pressure, sustain, and execution, and while she doesn't have a wide variety of intricate combos like some gods do, the one core combo she does have is incredibly effective and can be used in multiple ways depending on the situation. The first and more straightforward version of this combo starts with her third ability, Incense. Use it to stun your target and gain a burst of strength and intelligence. Follow that up immediately with an auto attack, then cast Lash to deal even more damage and apply bleed. From there, finish the fight with a few well-timed auto attacks. If you're not already in range, you can start this combo with Nimble Strike to close the gap and begin the sequence. This combo is quick, efficient, and very strong in one-on-one duels or early skirmishes. The second version of this combo plays into Kali's passive and the Rupture mechanic. Start with Nimble Strike to jump and apply multiple stacks of Rupture to your enemy. From there, cast Lash and weave in a few auto attacks to add even more stacks of Rupture. Once the target is properly primed with Rupture, finish the sequence with Incense, which will consume all of the stacks and increase the healing and bonus damage output. This version is especially effective when you need a strong burst of sustain to survive extended trades or to turn the fight in your favor. As for Destruction, Kali's ultimate, it doesn't really need to be used as part of a strict combo rotation. It should be used whenever needed. Whether that's to dive into the backline, avoid death, or continue a fight while low on health, it grants her crowd control immunity, constant area damage, and a powerful resurrection-like effect at the end. Think of it as both an aggressive finisher and a defensive escape, depending on how the fight is going. If you want to see these combos in action, check out my channel where I've posted some Kali gameplay videos that demonstrate these strategies in real matches, and consider following me on Twitch for live gameplay. It's a different experience from the YouTube videos, leaning heavily on play-by-play commentary. It's also a good way to ask questions directly. Hope to see you on my next Twitch stream. With that being said, now that you know exactly how to play Kali, let's go over where she fits best on the battleground. Kali thrives in the jungle, and this is by far her most effective and natural role. Her high mobility, strong dueling potential, and incredible self-healing make her a dominant presence in the jungle. She can clear her camp sufficiently with Lash, chase down targets with Nimble Strike, and finish fights with her ultimate. The ability to mark an enemy god and secure healing and bonus gold off a takedown makes her a high reward assassin who scales exceptionally well into the late game. Whether you're ganking, invading, or cleaning up team fights, Jungle Kali is a menace from start to finish. In solo lane, Kali can perform reasonably well, particularly into certain matchups where her sustain can outlast the enemy. While she doesn't offer the same lane control and tankiness as more traditional solo laners, her ability to outsustain and punish overextensions can be deadly. She functions best here when built into a bruiser style setup, leaning into her healing and consistent pressure rather than raw burst. However, be aware that she can struggle early against high clear or hard CC solo laners. Kali can potentially work in ADC, though it's a niche and unconventional pick. Her basic attack focus and strong self-healing give her a fighting chance in the dual lane, especially against some of the weaker early game ADCs. That being said, she lacks traditional range poke and objective pressure, which makes her less consistent than a true ADC. You'll need strong matchup knowledge and good support synergy to make this work, but it can be done with the right approach. As for mid lane, Kali is simply not well suited. She lacks range, burst damage, and being melee puts her at a constant risk in a lane dominated by high burst long range mages. She doesn't bring utility or poke, and while she can duel most mid laners, as she gets on top of them, she'll rarely get the chance without putting herself in danger. It's best to avoid playing her in mid unless you're experimenting or having fun. And finally, support is Kali's weakest role by far. She brings no real team utility, lacks peel, and doesn't offer any protection or crowd control as a support should provide. Her kit is entirely selfish, designed to secure kills and snowball, which goes completely against what a support should be for a team. There's no build path that realistically makes her effective in this role, but do keep in mind that these are all just suggestions, and if you find a build or playstyle that works to flex her out into the roles that I mentioned she might not work well in, as long as you can make it work, then there's nothing wrong with that. Keep in mind that this guide focuses on Kali's base form and does not include her aspect version, which will be covered in a separate video, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in learning more about her alternate playstyles. Now that we've covered where Kali performs best, let's move on to see what stats and item types you should prioritize when building her. Now, as always, I can't give you an exact build for Kali, as items in Smite 2 often go through changes and fall in and out of the meta, but I can tell you which stats to focus on and suggest some items. Kali is one of the most versatile gods in the game when it comes to build paths. Thanks to her hybrid scaling, she can build into a variety of different paths depending on your playstyle, team composition, or what the enemy team is throwing at you. Whether you want to focus on attack speed, critical strike chance, ability damage, or even pure intelligence burst damage, Kali can make it work. Here are a couple of the strongest approaches to building her right now. For a strength-based attack speed build, your core focus should be strength, attack speed, and either penetration or critical strike chance, or even a mix of both depending on your situation. Items like Tearfang, Braggy's Harp, and Dagger of Frenzy are excellent for ramping up your attack speed while still providing meaningful strength scaling. If you're looking to shred tanks or frontliners, items like Executioner, Kinsize, and Titan's Bane are strong penetration options that let your autos remain effective even into the late game protections. If you want to lean into critical strike, items like Rage, Musashi's Dual Blade, Demon Blade, and Deathbringer will let you delete squishies in just a few hits. Keep in mind that you can also spec into both penetration and critical strike chance for a more balanced approach. You won't maximize both stats with this approach, but you will do well in both, which is often more than enough to carry fights and maintain consistent pressure across the board. Alternatively, you can build Kali for pure ability bursts with intelligence, maximizing her potential to blow up targets with 1 or 2 combos. In this case, you'll want to focus on intelligence and penetration. Items like Book of Thoth, Doom Orb, and Signet provide huge boosts to your raw power. Polynomicon and Spear of Desolation are great core additions to amplify your burst potential and ability spam, and if you're facing heavy healing, don't forget to include a Divine Ruin for anti-heal. When it comes to penetration for intelligence build, Obsidian Shard is now the most reliable option, especially with the upcoming patch where most items have lost their penetration values. Totem of Death and Executioner can still be viable in certain hybrid builds, but Obsidian Shard remains the best in-slot option when you want to guarantee your damage punches through enemy defense. Now remember that these items are just suggestions as they depend on variables such as your situation, team composition, and enemy team comp, and furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, items are buffed, nerfed, falling in and out of the meta. That being said, the stats themselves are consistent, so it doesn't really matter what items you buy as long as you focus on the stats your character requires. Also, as I mentioned prior, with Kali, the sky truly is the limit. You can build attack speed leaning into penetration, attack speed leaning into critical strike chance, attack speed building into both. You can build full strength for like a auto attack ability combo type playstyle, full intelligence for a just pure ability burst damage playstyle. Again, the sky's the limit, but if you do want completed builds, feel free to join the Discord server where I or other community members can help you with your builds or any other questions you may have. And as I mentioned, if you want some non-toxic friends to play Smite with, our Discord server is the perfect place for you. With that out of the way, you know just about everything you need to know to get started playing Kali. So I'm going to leave you off with some tips and tricks to help you out on your very next match. Tip number 1 is to always track your marked target. Kali's passive, Mark for Death, is the foundation of her kill potential and survivability. Always know who your current target is and be mindful of when it changes. Securing a kill on your marked target will restore a large chunk of your health and grant bonus gold, which can swing entire fights or objectives in your favor. If your marked target dies on the other side of the map, don't forget that the passive auto updates, meaning you can go right back and hunt without missing a beat. Up next, make sure you're weaving auto attacks between abilities. Whether you're building for abilities, for auto attacks, a hybrid of both, weaving basic attacks in between your ability cast is essential. Kali's kit is designed around constant aggression and auto attacking between Nimble Strike, between Lash, Incense, and it helps you build your Rupture stacks, maximizing DPS and keeping pressure on your target. Especially in auto attack builds, skipping this habit will cut your damage output in half, so get used to the rhythm early. Tip number 3 is know when to use Destruction. Kali's ultimate Destruction is a powerful survival and finishing tool, but it's only effective if used at the right time. If you use it too early, enemies can disengage and wait it out. Too late, and you may not get the value from the healing threshold it provides. Ideally, pop it as you're diving into a team fight and fall low on health, beating up kills, baiting cooldowns, and winning team fights. The damage and survivability it provides can turn Kali into a one-woman cleanup crew when used properly. And finally, tip number 4, stack Rupture before using Incense. Don't waste Incense on an enemy who hasn't been primed. Your Lash, Nimble Strike, and even your ultimate all apply Rupture stacks. And the more stacks you build before using Incense, the more healing and damage you'll get out of it. Time it after you've already landed your opening damage, and you'll often find yourself walking away with more health than you started with during that fight. It's a key part of Kali's dueling and teamfighting sustain. Use it wisely. And that's it, you've reached the very end of this Kali guide. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my other Smite 2 guides and subscribe for more content. If you have any questions, join my Discord server for more tips and a friendly community of Smite players. And finally, follow me on Twitch if you want to watch me play some Smite live. Speaking of Smite live, if you're watching this video within 8 hours of its release date, then I'm going to be live playing Smite 2 on Twitch, and I hope to see you there. With that out of the way, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye!